Things in the pro cycling peloton have a tendency to get heated, and they occasionally blow up. Here are some of the most explosive incidents that involved spectators, canines, and of course, other riders. Leon Sanchez of Astana is rumored to flick the bird to his breakaway companions during the Giro d'Italia at one point, seemingly in response to something that was said by one of them, but that altercation was relatively minor in comparison to others that we have seen between professional riders over the years. So we are again with you on cycling right now with a few of the best examples of what can happen when professionals play in an aggressive manner. So without any delay, let's start. Number 10, Lars Boom, when the punch is thrown by Lars Boom. Lars Boom was once kicked out of the Tour of Norway after he allegedly elbowed and then punched Preben van Hecke of Sport Vlaanderen. This led to Boom's disqualification from the race. Lars Boom said, "He was on my wheel and I almost crashed, so I got a little hot-headed." And he was referring to the other driver. "I don't want to crash, especially when an idiot does something as stupid as that." A referee for the race told TV2 in Norway, "You're not allowed to punch another competitor, and most especially not in the face. As a result, we have settled on the option of removing him from the competition." That is something that can't really be debated. Number 9 is when a fight breaks out between Carlos Barredo and Rui Costa. Crikey! It would appear that Carlos Barredo threw himself at Rui Costa after an incident that occurred during the finish of Stage 6 of the 2010 Tour de France, waving his front wheel in the air and yelling, "Hijo de puta!" That's Spanish for, well, let's just say it's extremely impolite. Both riders ended up with a few scrapes and a fine after the situation escalated to the level of playground fight at an elementary school. Next, moment number 8. If you're a die-hard cycling fan, you can't forget Andrei Grivko and Marcel Kittel. Both these fighters own a negative image. At the end of the Dubai Tour from the previous year, German sprinter Marcel Kittel was seen with blood streaming down his face. Afterwards, he claimed that he had been struck by Astana's Andrei Grivko, who was subsequently disqualified from the competition. After some time, Kittel posted on Twitter, "I just googled Grivko and it said that he's 70 kgs. Dude, know your limits." Oh, catty. Our next cyclist, number 7, is Marcel Kittel again. Once, when the body slam performed by Marcel Kittel on his bicycle is a furious moment that can't be avoided. During Stage 2 of the 2014 Tirreno Adriatico race, Marcel Kittel demonstrated that he is more than capable of dishing out some aggression, even if it was only to his bike. Kittel's chances of competing in the sprint finish were eliminated when he was involved in a crash with 2.5 kilometers to go in the race. The news didn't sit well with him at all. He later made amends for his mistake by tweeting, "I'm extremely sorry for dropping my cherished giant Propel on the floor. I still love it. Simply put, we're involved in a very passionate relationship. #deep emotions." Our next cyclist, number 6, is Chris Froome. Once a fan was pushed by Chris Froome. Even the mild-mannered Chris Froome has been known to get worked up on occasion, most notably during the 2016 Tour de France on the Col de Peyresourde, when he lashed out at a Colombian fan who was getting in the way of his view of the race. Froome stated to the press that he had nothing negative to say about the Colombian fans. "They're amazing and they bring a wonderful energy to the race, but there was one particular individual who was running alongside my handlebars while simultaneously carrying a flag that was waving behind him. He pushed him away, he lashed out and pushed him away because the situation was getting increasingly dangerous. As you can see, it was more of a push than a punch or a forearm smash when it happened." Froome went on to win the stage, the race, and a great deal more money than the 200 Swiss francs, around $170.5 fine that was imposed on him by race officials for incorrect behavior. Whatever the circumstances, Froome was successful. He won the stage, the race, and a great deal more money. Cyclist number 5, Thomas Voeckler, had some verbal arguments once that he was viral on internet. During the 2014 Tour de France, everyone's favourite pro cycling gurner, Thomas Voeckler, who retired in 2017, stopped on a climb to give a lesson in proper manners for spectators to follow while watching the race. At the time of the incident, the French rider was progressing up a horse category, also known as a beyond category ascent. We can give Tommy credit for playing fair. Our next cyclist, fighter number 4, is too furious. Hope you all would love to watch out for Cadel Evans. He hits out at the reporter. During the interviews that took place after stage 10 in the 2008 Tour de France, badly injured Cadel Evans really wasn't into being touched by anyone. Evans presented an intimidating appearance, especially for a man who was carrying around a friendly lion at the time.
Sport goes, eh?
Tomorrow you have a rest day and then you plan your tactics.
Don't touch, don't touch pas.
You have already seen this type of moment in sport, it's quite common, so our next cyclist, cyclist number 3, has a lot of angry moments, but today, here, we'll show you one when Alberto Contador flicks a fan. During the 2011 Tour de France, Alberto Contador was riding up Alpe d'Huez when he got into an argument with some idiot who was dressed as a surgeon and was racing alongside him. Bertie delivered what could be more accurately described as a swift flick to the face rather than a full-on punch. On number 2 is Wiggins. Wiggins flings his bike away, and that was quite funny for fans, but actually, at that moment, Wiggins had completely his cool. It's a classic. How could we possibly choose not to include it? Bradley Wiggins had a very successful cycling career, winning the Tour de France, 5 Olympic gold medals and several world records. However, without a doubt, the greatest accomplishment of his career was parking his bike perfectly against a wall from half a road width away while having a bit of a strop, which was understandable during the 4th stage of the Giro del Trentino in 2013. That cannot be taught in any way. Well, it's quite questionable to be honest. On top, we have the most furious moment of cycling, and here stands not one rider. These are the 2 big names of the cycling world, Sagan versus Cavendish. The inclusion of this one is debatable given that the incident that occurred at the end of stage 4 of the 2017 Tour de France wasn't the result of a rider becoming frustrated with the race. Rather, things just got a bit spicy in the sprint for the line, as they do on a regular basis. Peter Sagan's elbow flicked out, whether intentionally or in an attempt to regain his balance, and Mark Cavendish went down. Peter Sagan won the race, Mark Cavendish finished second. Cav suffered a broken shoulder blade and Sagan was forced to drop out of the competition. Therefore, there were no real winners here, apart from the other sprinters, perhaps such as Marcel Kittel, who ultimately won 5 of the stages. So, crazy cycling fans, these are all the top 10 furious cyclists who most of the time have lost their cool, and in the future, we audience are expecting such type of more entertaining stuff. And hey fans, just tell us in the comment section which cyclist you consider the angriest of all, and also ping me if you want the second part of this video. Yes, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos.